Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day, much better than me. And we're going to take a look here, of course, at Bitcoin, help you understand best practice and big picture. And yeah, we're again, just if you're new to the channel or whatever, my right hand is disabled for perhaps the unforeseeable future. And what I'm going to be doing is using my left hand. So I hope you have some fun here as well as I am. All right. So either way, it should be a learning experience nonetheless. We're going to look at, of course, Bitcoin, see kind of what's going on here with this. Well, it's a type of ascending trend, and we want to see if it's going to break to the upside. It does look like it wants to, and I'll explain why. But generally speaking, we're going to look at that and much more, of course, perhaps even the big picture and traditional markets as well. Some standard stuff that we need to know going into trading a coin like this, and of course altcoins as well, because those are fairly reliant on Bitcoin's success or lack thereof. All right, so that's basically what we're looking at. Once again, you're new to the channel, cryptocash.tech is the website, link in the description below if you want to become a better trader. Got a phenomenal trading community there. Everyone is just absolutely amazing. I mean, the amount of support that I see in there and just how much success people are having is phenomenal to me. I'm just extremely impressed. So keep up the great work, guys. You just continue to impress me every single day, and I'm just thankful to be part of your lives and the universe as well, I'm sure. So thank you for that. As you can tell also, most of these gains are being accrued through BitGet. That is my recent affiliation. I actually partnered with them exclusively because they are the best exchange in the country. That's, well, actually the world would probably be a better way to put it, but I live in the United States. And they have basically leverage trading in the United States with no VPN. So it's a fantastic option. Be sure to check that out. In your own time, if you use this link, you can benefit from some bonus transfer funds. In other words, they give you USDT just for transferring funds and trading with their exchange. You have to trade volume and you have to use this link, so make sure you use it before November 30th. All right, so here's where we're at for Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and zoom out, take a big picture look here. And as we can kind of see, I got some scribbles from yesterday. I don't love that. We're looking at big picture. What we're looking at here, first of all, let's kind of go ahead and summarize. We obviously are making lower highs, right? Or have been up until recent. So we've got the 69,000, 48,000, and then comes down here to try to retest again at 22,700. And then if we look at the most recent data, we can see this descending trend is finally broken. It broke through with 2 strong green days. So what that basically just means is it isn't just a line on the chart. It really just tells us that we're no longer making lower highs. And when you stop making lower highs, that allows for you to start printing higher lows. And that's what we look for to be able to see if we can have a trend reversal. So far we have that, but it's a little premature. We want to be able to consolidate above a key level support, such as 19,800, or 20,000 is a round number. So to me, dollar cost averaging at the 20,000 range is a pretty good call, because the likelihood of further downside I think is fairly low. But once again, it could happen. You want to prepare yourself. We do have this Fibonacci circle down here, of course, working as a support level that is essentially averaging itself out pretty well in the overall sense of things, because the lowest point is 17,700, $100 off of the most recent lowest point for Bitcoin. So to me, the immediate future, if we were to see a retracement, I think 17.6 will hold fairly strong, and we should not have the probability of seeing 14,000 or less. Even though I'd love to see that, so because I'd fill my bag and just put everything in, it's still less realistic, okay? So just bear that in mind. That being said, that's kind of the big picture outlook there. The other big picture outlook we got to recognize too is that we have, again, kind of an indecisive market today. I mean, 0.5% down isn't terrible, but it's not great. Dollar index is up, of course. So, those factors are swaying Bitcoin in the opposite direction that we want to go. We got to recognize that's going to be a consistent thing for the most part until things are effectively decoupled and Bitcoin is taking off. There will be a point in which that happens. It's happened before, but for right now, it's fairly aligned. Dollar index up, traditional markets down, Bitcoin follows suit. All right, and in a lot of cases too, if you keep this in mind, majority of altcoins, minus some outliers, are going to follow the same exact procedure. Okay, they're going to follow Bitcoin's. They're going to follow the marching band, right? They're going to just go right where it's going, just like a bunch of lemmings. So anyways, that's where we're at there on the daily. Looking at the RSI, let's go ahead and take a peek here. We can see the price is kind of sort of coming down, but it's not bad. We're still above 50. That's a key important thing that I like to kind of recognize here. While we have come up and then down before, we are less likely to do that now. Okay, so it seems very unlikely that it's going to happen. So just keep this in mind. 50 on RSI is traditionally a strong support level, and we can see that 19,800 is essentially that level. Okay, so the price comes down a little bit lower to 19.8. We could very well see 50 on the RSI tested and see a bounce. That's what I'm hoping for, and that should likely occur. Again, you don't want to put your full-on trade or whatever trade you're doing, whatever, again, everyone's different in their risk tolerance, but whatever you're trading, I'd recommend just being cautious and careful at this point, because it could still break below. In other words, RSI is not a guarantee. Okay, it's just something we add to our tool belt to help understand. Because again, good technical analysis is just extracting a lot of information from each time frame. Okay, and I don't like to use all these crazy indicators personally that a lot of other folks are using. Nothing wrong with that per se. It's just that a lot of the traditional indicators give you what you need to do if you know where to look. And these are the same indicators that the whales are using. They're not using all these funky, interestingly made up ones that you see nowadays, right? So again, I prefer to use what they're using because if you see what they see, you're going to be better off. Speaking of seeing what they see, let's see if there is an option for the moving averages. Let's kind of see where we're at here. What I mean by option is just where are we at on the 50, because yesterday, recall, the 50 was below the price action. Now it's kind of right within, so this is a point of contention here. If we can stay and close above the 50-day set moving average, we'll be in pretty good shape. So for the next 2 trading days, we can hold above 19,800. We should be in pretty good shape to see continuation to the upside. So I think that we're looking at a situation where if we don't close above that level, then we're going to be in a situation where we might see the price come lower. But hypothetically, we get, just say today and tomorrow, it would be great because they're traditional trading days. If we can hold above that support level, we're going to be in pretty good shape. Okay, so again, I think mostly positive here in the overall sense of things for Bitcoin on the daily. When it comes to the 4 hour though, let's see if we're in a similar circumstance. This is what I was telling you yesterday too as well. The 200-day set moving average on the 4 hours carries the most weight. It's very similar to the 50-day set moving average. If you do the math, they're very, very close. And that just kind of reaffirms that we have a strong support at 19,800. It's running parallel with that. So that's a fantastic sign. That really helps us understand that we're in good shape. And I think that that's going to continue to hold as a support level. The 20 is working its way up. I'm not super sold on that, but generally speaking, the 20 does essentially tell you when you have some type of an ascending trend, and it'll run concurrent with trend lines. So we could very well see this trend line working out positively to the upside here moving forward. We'll see again, of course, later if that's the case, but generally speaking, that's what I like to look for on the moving averages. When it comes to the RSI here, being up over 50 and under 70 on the 4 hours, really just all I'm looking for. So with us being in that range, we're looking pretty good. My concern here is a MACD divergence. I mentioned this yesterday when it was heading down. It did get a little bounce, but unfortunately it just converged. So for lack of better terms, the convergence is not positive in the overall sense of things. This definitely tells us that the momentum is pushing itself down. Again, you don't base a trade on that one thing, but that one thing is something that I pay close attention to. So that's my only concern here, I would say, is that kind of counteracts and reaffirms the fact that we could see further downside. But keep this in mind, we are making higher lows, all right? And this is important to recognize. And if we look at the 1 hour, I'm sure you'll be able to see those candle wicks. We've got higher lows as well on the lower time frames. So generally speaking, there's more positive than negative here. The likelihood of a break to the upside makes a lot more sense considering it started from down here, and it should continue to progress its way upwards. Right? So again, that's hypothetically how things should work out. Okay. Again, traditional markets, if they finish and close today at negative 2.5%, 3%, Bitcoin's going to have a bad day. That's just all there is to it for right now. So just please understand there's a lot of factors involved, but generally speaking, 4 hour is kind of neutral, for lack of better terms. It's kind of just drawing dead, if you will. And here are those nice candle wicks. If you can see, look at the candle wicks coming down under 20,000, Fibonacci retracement level at 20, or 19,900 basically. And then of course we got the original trend line, 19,800. That's been pretty much tried and true as a resistance and a support level for years. In that regard, those both are making higher lows and effectively wicking down and wicking right back up, essentially disallowing the price action to come down. What that tells us is that we have a lot of volume, a lot of buying pressure at those areas, and that is telling us basically the bears are having difficulty pushing the price down. They're going to have to keep trying to sell, and eventually they may break through, but for now it seems to be a pretty strong little support. All right, so again, that's where we're at there for that. It's really awesome in the overall sense of things. When we take a look at the cloud, I think we're still above, and oh, this is cool. Check this out. And this is kind of just how the cloud works. So first of all, as I mentioned yesterday, lagging span being in the price action is not great. We don't love that. We've got the conversion line intersecting with the baseline now, so that's not good either, because that's really telling us there's some kind of, basically a momentum to the downside. And that's very concurrent in a lot of ways with a 4-hour MACD. But when we look at the actual leads on the cloud, we can see that the price action, anytime it travels within, it gets rejected. So we've got basically 2 additional support levels here. So to me, seeing a support level at 19,800 that's held very strong for quite a long time, a 200-day set moving average and the 50 all kind of coming together on the 4-hour and the daily at this level, in addition to ascending trend with higher lows still consistently printing, I think we're probably in pretty good shape for further upside. It just really looks like the price action wants to continue higher. So, to me, I would maybe consider dollar cost averaging, and maybe I would say more so consider a long versus a short, because it has most of the signs it wants to break to the upside. Again, there's no guarantees in this, but for the most part, it is looking pretty decent. So the hourly looks good, the 4-hour looks kind of break even, and the daily looks mostly positive. So if you're going to add that all together, that's like a 66% probability of an upside, right? Obviously, there's a lot of little nuances there, but generally speaking, that's what I like to look for when I do a technical analysis, to make sure that we see a lot of different perspectives and extract small amounts of information and kind of give an average. So I would say we're probably more like 70% likelihood of an upside than downside. Okay. Again, it's all statistical probability, really. I mean, technical analysis is not that difficult. It's really mostly just understanding how to read the charts and what the greed factor is for the those who control the markets. Because you know darn well it's not you and I. No matter how much we think we're whales, we're not, because we don't have billions of dollars, right? At least I presume. And if you're watching this and you have billions of dollars, let me know. I'd be more than happy to partner up with you. Anyways, that being said, we're all set and good to go here. I would say further upside seems more likely, but there is no doubt that it very well could come down and retest this level. Okay, this ascending trend is not concrete by any stretch. Okay, all right, so I'd be excited to see how that support level holds up, and I do appreciate you watching. If you want to become again a better trader, cryptocash.tech is a site. Link in the description below. You want to go ahead and join some of my awesome community members and just keep learning and growing together. It's just fantastic. We're raking in the cash here lately. It's been pretty nice, and you can absolutely make a killing in a bear market. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And yesterday we took XRP trade 61%. Granted, it took almost 5 days, so you do have to be patient in some cases. Again, these are more of my swing trades, but obviously day traders are very successful too. Okay. So all in all, we're doing pretty well, 80% Bitcoin, 3 days and 22 hours. So yeah, again, if that's something you're looking for, cryptocash.tech is a site. I look forward to working with you and the 200 other plus members that we have right now. Have yourself a great rest of the day. Greatly appreciate your time. We'll see you in the next one.